Hello YouTube, this is Amalgam94 here, and I wasn't going to make a video or anything about the Xbox One. I have no real say in the video game community. I'm not even going to get one, so I have no real reason to gripe about it. That was until I read an article the other day saying that Microsoft predicted that the sales of the Xbox One for the entire generation to be at least 1 billion units sold. Let me say that again. 1 billion, not million, billion units sold. So, let me get this straight, Microsoft. You really think the Xbox One, a system that isn't backwards compatible, that pretty much blocks used games, you have to pay for online, the Kinect always has to be connected, and it's always online. You really think that will make people want to buy 1 billion of your system? Now, a lot of you might not think that 1 billion is really that high for a whole entire generation, which is anywhere from like 5 to 10 years. Let me put this into perspective. The Wii, which had a generation of about 8 years, it stopped selling its generation ended in March 31st, 2013. On that day, it was recorded selling 99.84 million. And that was the second highest selling console ever. So 99.84 million for the Wii, a system that literally everyone owned. You can't really go into someone's house and they don't own a Wii. And they didn't really break that much, so people didn't have to go buy multiple copies like they did for the Xbox 360 or the PS3 when they first launched. And let's just say this Xbox One generation lasts 13 years. The PS2, the highest selling console ever, its generation lasted 13 years. It only sold 155 million units. So, what you're telling me is that Microsoft is expecting the Xbox One, a system that has all these features that gamers don't like. There's nothing, well, I guess there are a couple of redeemable things about it, but there's nothing really that gamers are just drawn to, or something they're even repelled from it, to sell more than 155 million. I mean, even if you just said 200 million, I wouldn't believe it, but it's 1 billion. They clearly think this is going to do a lot better than what people actually think it will. Like, they don't listen to their fans about this. Like, they even went and started blocking comments on their YouTube channel for people who say, giving them good explanation as to why this system is going to fail. And like I already said, they keep telling them, don't. The main thing people are complaining about is the fact that the used game deal. Like, used games are going to be priced at just like maybe $10 or $15 lower than what they usually are. And even if that rumor isn't true, like maybe if they are like $20 at the most, how most used games are, they expect you to pay a minimum of $40, I think, $40 for you to actually activate that used game when you put it into your Xbox. I just don't understand. Why do they think that's a good idea? And secondly, always online. Well, okay, it's not going to be always online. That argument was taken out. But they decided, you know what, people don't really like always online. So we're going to make it a little better by making you have to register or do something every 24 hours to verify that you have an Xbox Live account. And if you don't, I don't know what would happen. You apparently can't play your games on your Xbox until you verify your account. And that's $60 a year, I think, for Xbox Live. So you need an internet connection in order to play this, to play any game. And you have to pay for the internet that you need to play the games. And it's not backwards compatible. So you can't even play old games on it. And you can't even transfer your old Xbox Live games over to your Xbox One. There are just so many things about this that just won't work. And another thing that isn't as big of a deal, but some people don't really like it, is that the Kinect 2 as it's called, or as it's probably going to be called, it's bundled with the Xbox One, but it always has to be connected and turned on in order for you to play your games. Like, the controller is going to go through your Kinect first and then to your Xbox One. So people are saying that if you don't have the Kinect in, the Xbox One is like, it just isn't going to work. The controllers won't connect to it, which is a stupid idea. Like, I mean, if you don't want your Kinect watching you all the time, or maybe like you don't want to waste so much energy, because I would assume having two consoles plugged in would take a lot of energy and excess power that you don't necessarily need. Like, if you're going, like, some people just plug in their Xbox, their Kinect whenever they're gonna play Kinect games, not when they just want to play any game. Plus, this makes it so that pretty much any developer who thinks they can just put Kinect, like, motion controls in their game when they don't even need it. Like, it's forced on you, so they'll probably take advantage of it. Now, like I already said, I'm not gonna get one. I have no reason to get one. I have no reason to get an Xbox 360. But this, even if I had the slightest thought that I was gonna get one before May 21st, this kills any chance of that happening. Like, let me explain to you how bad I think this is gonna be. When I went to screwattack.com, or their YouTube channel, on May 22nd, because I had to do something on May 21st, so I couldn't get online. On May 22nd, I went there, and I went to their YouTube channel to look up what the next Xbox is going to be all about. First of all, I thought the name was either going to be Xbox Fusion, Xbox Infinity, or Xbox 720. Infinity seemed like the best option because I think that's a really cool name. So I click on the video that says something like, first look at next generation console commercial. And it says Xbox One on it. And I just thought, please tell me this is fake. The Xbox One? And people were complaining that the Wii U was a bad name. And now Microsoft goes and makes their third console their first console? Do they want people to think that the first two consoles just never happened? because that's kind of what it seemed like. And I was just watching it. I was watching the commercial, and they didn't show any gameplay. I was like, okay, you can watch TV. It has Connect features. You can Skype. You can add Facebook fantasy football. Woohoo! And you can do this and that in order to change to different stuff. You can just say, Connect, go to music, and it'll play some music for you. But it got like halfway into the commercial, or almost at the end of the commercial, and they didn't show any gameplay. The only gameplay they showed was a racing game, which was like maybe 2 seconds of two realistic looking cars go by the screen. It looked like I was watching a movie. I don't. No, I'm not saying that realistic graphics are bad. I'm just saying I don't want this next generation to completely rely on having realistic graphics as their, as for the only, to focus on that over gameplay. I don't want that to be the thing. And then the only games they even showed at the press conference were Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Ghost, like 4 different sports games, which are all just the replays of the event that just happened, which graphics are usually better in those anyway, and also a racing game. If you're gonna focus your unveiling of your next generation gaming console, why wouldn't you focus your entire press conference on how well the games look and the games play? I watched the conference, and I think I counted them saying the word game 3 times. 3 times. And at least one or two of those times, they said, with your games, movies, and Skyping, or music, or whatever. They always link games with 2 or 3 other things that then Connect can also do. It's like they're focusing only on streaming movies, watching TV, and listening to music and other stuff, and then just kind of having gaming as an option. If you're going to release a gaming console, it needs to be gaming first, and then having TV and music and Skyping features. Or take the Wii U, for example. The Wii U, it has a TV, Netflix, Hulu features, but those weren't even working correctly when the Wii U launched, meaning they didn't care if they didn't really care. They just felt like they kind of had that in order to keep up with this next generation. They fully focus on games. Yet there aren't that many games out right now for it, but that'll change later on down the road. But they mainly focus on games and spend maybe half an hour programming the TV and movies features in there. They don't really care. Xbox One, that's all they seem to care about. And yes, I know people are saying wait for E3, they'll show their games there. But how many of those games do you think are going to be racing, first-person shooters, or sports games? Probably at least half of them, because that's pretty much all Xbox seems to rely on. Now, like I already said, I'm not going to get one of these. I had no chance of me ever even thinking about getting one of these, but I'm just worried about the Xbox fans and what it can even do to to future generations. Like, maybe if for some reason, somehow, if the Xbox One does sell 1 billion consoles, which will not happen, it will not even reach 100 million. I mean, the Wii didn't. If it does somehow, that'll force the PS4, which is kind of going that direction, but not nearly as much. They're forcing the PlayStation and Nintendo to go pretty much all media first, and then gaming, because that's what sells. And And even if Nintendo doesn't do that, they would be left in the dust because the other two systems would be doing that and they would sell more. So it's pretty much... I can't think of anything good that's going to come out of this next generation Xbox. The name isn't very good. I mean, people will get it confused with the original Xbox. Like, I always called it Xbox One and Xbox 360, and now the Xbox One. I know you can't just call it original Xbox 360 Xbox One, but that's just... Why would they call it Xbox One? I don't understand it. I know it's like all in one. It's like the movies, Connect, streaming, and all this other stuff in one gaming console, but just call it Xbox Fusion if that's gonna be what you're going with. Like, that makes a lot more sense than just Xbox One, because it's literally the fusion of all your media you want in one gaming console. Just call it Xbox Fusion. And also, the whole used games thing, that'll basically make GameStop go out of business, because they'll sell a PS4 if they don't block used games, which they might. They still have Nintendo, which will never block used games. They never will. Backwards compatibility is an option. Is something that'll mess up this console, which PS4 does have issues with that, but they're at least addressing that. You'll be able to download PS3 titles from. I think they have some form of thing you can download PS3 titles for a discounted price if you have it or something. That's what I heard somewhere. And they're at least trying. They know they can't do it, so they're at least trying to appease people. And okay, this rant is going on a little too long. I'm kind of at a loss for words now. Just know that if you like where the Xbox One is going, I have nothing against you. I just personally don't think this is good for the industry. I don't think it'll sell good at all. I don't think anyone in Japan will buy it, for one thing. I'm just at a loss for words at how stupid the Xbox One is going to turn out to be. Even if all these rumors aren't true. Even if the games aren't blocked, used games aren't blocked, even if it's not always online, which it probably will be because they've been hinting at that for like a year now. If those aren't true, it's still not going to be a gaming console. It's going to be a media box with games in there. So leave your comments about what you think the Xbox One, if you have any hope for it at all, if you still think it might have a chance, if you think it's going to be terrible, just say any opinions you have about it. 994 signing out.